even if we.
Correct.
Yeah, I think what I'm saying should not be recorded, so you can start your
Okay.
meeting.
Sure. Wonderful. I think it is 3:06, so we'll start the session.
Yeah, sure.
Great. Gautam, can we start?
Yes, we can start because we have Akshay join now. Good afternoon, Akshay. Thanks for joining.
Hi, Akshay. Hi. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, I think 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏.
Yes.
Yes, correct. Hi, guys. Looking forward for the session.
Wonderful. Thank you for joining, Akshay.
Right.
Let's get started. Yeah, please.
I'll just share my screen. Are you guys able to see?
Yeah.
Yes. Can you move to the presentation mode because? Good. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Thank you all for joining, spending your time. I hope I add value in the next 1 hour so that at the end of this meeting at 4 o'clock, you should have 1 or 2 points to carry away with you to ensure any industry of yours, any known contact of yours ends up looking at water as a sustainable source. If I can add value in just 1 or 2 points, I think that would be a time saved. So yeah. So the main idea of this presentation is now we have been discussing with a lot of industries over the past 6 months, 8 months, since Bangalore had a severe water crisis. The way companies started looking at water security, water sustainability has changed drastically over the years. Now, recently from last year, there is a lot of change in terms of how companies approach. So we work with large MNCs who buy our water. So we thought if we can add value to anyone in the industry, anyone in our same industry or any industry who can benefit, any cooling tower industries who can benefit, if this can add value, we thought we'll add. So that is the purpose of this discussion. So basically, as an organization, we want to focus on addressing water shortage by a win-win where everyone in the cycle wins. And it's not just the business angle, it's also the sustainability angle, environment angle, commercial angle. So everyone in the cycle has to win in every aspect of it. So coming to industry, so industries currently throughout India depend on 3 major sources of water, right? So one is tanker. So in Bangalore, if you see, most of them in the industrial belt buy water via tankers. The second is they have their own borewell. The third is the municipal itself, the government itself supplies a portion of water to them. So if you see the quality of water now, most of our discussion today will be based on Bangalore because we have data and all the projects which we have done is significantly in Bangalore. We've just started in 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 and Chennai, but most of the discussion will be oriented towards Bangalore. So if you see tanker, they source water. So if for any tanker who supplies water, the borewells, if they dig 5 borewells or 8 borewells, they will have 1 or 2 borewells yielding water. And the total dissolved salts in that water is pretty high in most regions. And the pricing is variable and they supply in both 6 KL and 12 KL tankers. And there is, after scarcity has always been consistency issue. They say they supplied tomorrow, they supplied, they can't supply because their borewell yield is not controlled by them. We all know. So there is always consistency issue. Once industry buy any tanker water or borewell or municipal water, they have to treat it again to use it for their industrial application. And for some industries who need very high quality water, they have to feed it to an RO and then take the water for their for their processing, right? This is the same case with all tanker purchase. Now we know an industry who used to buy for a 30,000 liters of RO quality water requirement, they used to buy 60,000 liters because there is reject in the RO. So that is one problem which we see in the industry. And those industries who are using borewell water, they are now asked to take groundwater permissions in terms of how many borewells they have to declare. They are left with legal issues. Even large companies are left with the groundwater compliance reports. Even if they are buying tanker water, they are supposed to give a document saying that which is the source of borewell and is it legally approved borewell which they are sourcing water? So these issues we currently see. And again, they again have borewell. During some days there is borewell available, in some days it is not available. And coming to municipal, we all know municipal, there is no consistent supply, meaning if someone in HSR layout prime area, we get water 2 days a week or 3 days a week. Sometimes it comes in full supply, suddenly it stops. So there is consistency issue in that. And even if we buy municipal water, we still have to treat it further if industries need very low TDS water or very low hardness. Now, all of the industries as a default, we have been talking about rainwater. All of us know about rainwater harvesting. But in spite of huge amount of rain, we again see the same kind of issues every year, because rainwater always is limited to amount of storage which they do. And in some areas where the groundwater recharge is actually measurable, people do measure. In most areas where there is clay soil, where the percolation cannot be measured, even if you recharge, we don't know how much of water is actually recharged. There is no measurement. It does help. There is no measurement. However, if we are able to reuse the rainwater which is stored, then that is direct impact. So there is no question or no second source apart from rainwater. So we should all first look at rainwater as our as much as rainwater which can be harvested, stored, and reused. Now, having all these in mind, so I will tell few areas on our customers, how they started, say a large industry, SKF industry, or say Jeeves Laundry or Snyder, all these people, how they started. We have been working with them over the past 2-3 years, how they started making their buildings. So suddenly one day there is scarcity. How does an industry ensure that they are safe during these kind of crises, right? The first thing which they started looking at is, they listed down in a table with the big chart what is all their available source in terms of measurable volume. So an industry went to a level saying that their borewell yield, they put meters for all these, what is their borewell yield, they put all the data together and then sat on that data for 3-6 months before they know what is their actual volume of fresh water which they take on a daily basis. This is the first activity any of the industries should do if they have not done it. Second, once they use this water, where is all this water going out? All the water going out of the building needs to be measured, and volumetric measurement, if it is not there, they wouldn't know. So when they do this, the standard question which comes out is, we have a large garden, we use up all the water inside the garden. So this is the common topic which came, and this came for large MNCs also, meaning they don't realize they have a large garden and they say, okay, I pour all the excess water to my garden, right? Then comes the point, what is the plantation they do? What is the kind of plant they put? How much water is required? Is it for carbon reduction they have put the plant, or is it for aesthetic they have put the plant? So all these evaluation goes in the second identification point on what is the exact volume of water which actually they can use within the building, right? So once they do this identification, they get to the basics of rainwater harvesting. So if we get, say, 47 days, 50 days of rain based on the city, they maximize the area where the water can be stored. So there are two areas of rainwater harvesting they focus. One is the rooftop, other one is surface water. So can surface water also be harvested and either reused or recharged? We have few projects where builders have done surface water harvesting, and then they're using, say, close to 8 lakh liters pond they have constructed, and they're using that surface water. And few have done more than surface water, combining both of these water along with the existing tank storage capacity of sewage treatment plant, how to optimize all the storage tanks together, and they've gone up to that level in terms of ensuring basics. Now, STP, ETP recovery, for an industry perspective, it comes under basics. All the industries are required to be zero liquid discharge. So they focus on ETP section, on how much water can be reused, which location can they reuse the water for cooling tower, and things like that. So these are the first steps which any industry, if you are talking as a client to an industry, or if you're an industry, you're running an industry, these two aspects has to be first jotted out in a chart, and the whole team should be in sync to understand what is possible further. Now, when we do all these, we come up with few areas of improvement. Now, for example, when I say garden, most of the garden per acre, the water required is only 5,000 liters, right? These type of input comes from the on-field experience from many MNCs which we work. Now, for example, few MNCs had RO reject. What do you do with reject? Reject, is it which plantation will take what kind of reject? There is beetroot which can take reject TDS up to 2,800. There is coconut trees which can take TDS up to 3,600, and different plantation, few cactus can take up to 5,500, and they see the absorption ratio of the cactus, absorption ratio of the roots, and then decide which area requires what kind of volume. Now, we have always been thinking, I'll send my wastewater to the garden, I'll send it to the drain as it is not illegal. So these 4 points came up as a part of discussion, right? Now, for those industry who have softener, there is a big problem of sending the brine, because softener wastewater can't be sent back to STP in most cases, because bacteria will die, STP will fail. So they end up bypassing the reject. They mix STP treated water with the brine, take it to the garden. How do we manage rejects? And long term, is this reject recyclable? Are we able to extract salts back from the softener rejects? All these areas has been analyzed. So these are the 4 points which, as being in the industry, we should look at primarily when we go for water recovery, water reuse, and water sustainability. These 4 points becomes critical. Coming to the 4th point, we have found out that industries sometimes don't require very high, they don't require RO quality water, they don't require DM quality water. So industries don't even know that they need low TDS water or high TDS water. For example, electroplating industry has been perpetually buying demineralized water. In Bangalore, if you see, demineralized water is trucked 25 kilometers from one place to the other to supply demineralized water. But the industry did not even need demineralized water in most cases. They already had a DM plant. If they had an RO quality water or less than 50 ppm TDS water, it was sufficient for them. Why do they truck in water 25 kilometers away? All these points came into picture. Now, we have been a part of Niti Aayog's discussion. We have been part of policy formation in Bangalore, in Delhi, all these places. There is going to be, in the recent October 7th, there has been a draft agreement. So the people who are there, I can send this document later. It is an elaborate 35-page document which is being proposed, where currently industry only trade carbon, right? So you are able to give end user responsibility certificates for the carbon emission, all that is going to move and come towards water, right? So this is the proposal. It has been sent to us, sent to various companies who are working on water circularity. So with this coming into picture, companies might have to declare pin to pin, in terms of people can't abruptly say that I'm sending all my wastewater to the garden. People can't abruptly say that it goes to my drain. There has to be a circularity proven, and it's going to be starting implementation next year, 2025, March, April, I think the implementation will start. So it becomes very important for us to measure and quantify all waters available inside the building, what is coming in, what is going out. So I would like to give some case studies on, we'll be transparent in terms of pricing, in terms of how it can add value to it. We are working with few large laundry industries, right? If you see Bangalore, there has been notices sent to many laundry industries. People say that Bellandur Lake got spoiled only because of laundry industry. So there is an estimate of almost 100 MLD of laundry treated water going to Bellandur Lake and various other lakes. So it becomes an important part of any city when they look at contamination to the river, because there is a significant large volume of soaps being added, foams coming out of soaps which is generated. So we work with a good number of laundry industries. So we thought these values would add value. One of the large laundry industry, they previously they wanted around 20 to 30,000 liters of water per day. They were previously using borewell water. Their borewell water, they had 2 borewells, out of which one was yielding. Most number of days it was not yielding. Then they would buy tanker at 1,570 rupees per tanker. When they use tanker water or borewell water, the TDS average in the region, it is in Electronic City region in Bangalore, the average TDS is between 1,500 and 1,800 ppm. So they used to buy that water, and then they pass it through softener for their boiler requirement, and some portion they would take it for their laundry. Meaning, if you have to process 1 lakh liters of or 30,000 liters of water per day, you would ideally need 60 kgs or 50 kgs of salt every day. So they will use a softener, and softener wastewater they'll send it to ETP, along with their laundry wastewater they send it to ETP. And the ETP treated water they are not able to reuse because it is not of high quality for reuse. So they end up disposing 2 tankers average per day outside for an external disposal. Now, it used to cost them 1,100 rupees per tanker of disposal. Legally, they are supposed to pay 4,000 rupees per tanker for disposal, but they have found a way to find a tanker who is able to take at that cost. So for every machine, they were spending 300 to 400 grams of soap per machine. And they had a tank of 5 KL for rainwater, which was filled by ETP excess water to manage. So during rains also, they were not able to store any water. So this was one of the large laundry industry which washes all the clothes for Biocon, all the clothes for Nara and 𝗓𝗏𝗧. All large MNCs give water to them. And all these large MNCs stopped giving water to them, their laundry business to them, because they have been struggling to manage the water, right? So we went, they approached us through Biocon connected us to them. So they approached us on how to make the whole laundry sustainable in terms of their water usage, right? Now, currently, this laundry buys our water. So when we say our water, we identify an apartment near the laundry. Apartments always have excess STP treated water. We go put our investment inside the apartment, put our equipment, large equipment, 25-30 lakhs we invest on the apartment at the apartment. We convert their STP treated water, pass it through 11 stages of treatment, produce very high quality water inside the apartment. We do water balance within the apartment for the reject going back to the STP, and take the high quality water and supply in 12 KL tanker to the industry nearby. So we close that loop. The industry now gets high quality water. Now the same laundry is not using softener because the hardness way it is getting around 5 ppm, 8 ppm, 10 ppm is the hardness which they're getting. TDS they're getting 30 to 50 ppm on an average. So softener, brine, all that is, they have removed the softener, kept it aside. Soap surprisingly has gone down because they were using 1,800 ppm TDS water. In spite of softener, they were using 300-400 grams because they were taking it to hardness 200-250 ppm. Hardness is the maximum they were taking. They've reduced significant quantity of soap which is used. Now, when an industry uses lesser soap, there is lesser contaminants going to the ETP. So this was not measured before, but we were able to clearly see ETP chemical cost was costing them some 80,000, 85,000 a month, has come down to 12,000, 15,000 a month. So significant reduction in ETP chemical cost as the total dissolved salts in the wastewater which is going to their ETP has come down drastically. Post ETP, they have an RO system, multi-stage RO system which is planned. They were not even operating because of the reject values being higher. They were not even operating. Now they are operating, they are able to recover up to 7 days. They are able to reuse the water. So their cost of purchase is significantly come down, lower salts in the whole cycle. Freshwater borewell is restricted to their freshwater demand whenever they need. And the whole industry is saving on cost, saving on water. The apartment nearby is managing their excess wastewater easily. So we are able to close this loop really well for the laundry in the region. So for those of you who are outside the city, we could possibly partner. If you find laundries where we can add value, if we find apartments where we can add value, we are open for a discussion. But we are able to solve this problem consistently, and this is the 4th year. Every month we are able to save 1.5 lakh rupees for them, for the industry. Every month we are able to save money and water, right? So this is one area where we were able to add value. So this is again for cooling tower, one of the largest mall in Bangalore we are working. So normally in cooling towers, what we have seen, we have met IT parks in Pune, Delhi, all these regions. What people normally say is, I have a softener, I use all the STP treated water via softener and use it for my cooling tower, and I am zero liquid discharge. When they say this, we understand that they can't be zero liquid discharge because they will send out obviously the softener brine out. And we have physically inspected that they can't become zero liquid discharge because they don't have enough garden. Either they say that they use all the STP treated water to the garden, and softener illegally sent to the drain. This is the case in most of the malls. And so we have been able to bring the mall to a very good sustainability angle by providing a high quality water by eliminating the softener reject. One of the malls were using close to 14 tons of salt for their softener every month. Now that is completely removed. We take their STP treated water, produce high quality water, and cooling tower blow down cycle chemicals from 75,000 to 11,000. Since softener only reduces hardness, our system is able to reduce TDS as well. What we are saying is, now if there is a solution possible which is commercially viable for the mall, for the IT park, they should definitely try it, not just rely on softener for their cycle. So the standard phases of usage for any mall or IT park is, as soon as the building is constructed, they will use softener. And because of this salt disposal issue, they will next put an RO. And because of not being able to manage RO, people end up spending 12 paisa, 14 paisa per liter. So because of the commercial reason, they avoid RO. Finally, they'll end up in fresh water, which everyone knows that they can't declare it outside, but they end up getting into the cycle in spite of spending a lot of money on it. We're able to solve that problem. So if any other city in India, if people want to solve, if they have good contacts in IT parks, malls, and they really can solve the problem, and they want to solve, then we can add value in terms of knowledge sharing, in terms of adding. So anyway, partnering, anyway, we are. Now, blowdown cycle has come down, reduction in cooling tower chemicals, no illegal disposal of brine, no salt storage, significant cost reduction in cooling tower chemical, and financially benefiting. This is what we are able to achieve for any cooling tower industry. Now, there are few industries like SKF, Schneider, all these companies where we work. The intention of the organization was to become sustainable in terms of ESG, in terms of water neutrality. Okay? All these industries know that they can put their own system, they can become zero recovery, all that. But what we noticed is, how much ever they try within the same cycle, it ends up like they increase the size of RO so that they get better volume of RO, but they have rejects which they don't know how to reuse. So with SKF, what has happened is, they were buying water, they have an RO system inside, they reject, they were able to take it back to their ETP cycle, they were able to manage. However, they can never become water neutral because they keep sourcing water which is exploited. So if anyone buys tanker water which is from a borewell, then it becomes like an exploited source, right? They are exploiting some other source and buying this water. So we gave a proposal where there is an apartment near SKF. We said, we are going to map this apartment's excess wastewater to your project, and you won't have any compromise in the quality of water which you already generate at the outlet of the RO. If we are able to give this water, they are able to reduce the cycles of reject volume in their building. They run their RO so that the rejects are easily managed within the cycle, the salts are easily managed within the cycle, and we are able to compensate with the non-exploited source back to their industry. The same is the case with Schneider. They're using it for their chillers. Chillers testing happens, Schneider's chillers, all their testing happens with our water. So so we are able to give this water neutrality for them. We manage all the complexities in terms of logistics, in terms of apartment agreement, in terms of STPs not working in that apartment, in terms of backup for that apartment, in terms of sustainability, in terms of consistency and cost. The same is achieved with one more Amitronics, where they are into cooling tower and process application. For one of the electroplating industry, what we have noticed is there is significant value add if you are able to source good quality water as an input to their DM. The OBR, output between regeneration, for their DM and softener comes drastically down. So we're able to save. So DM water is sold in Bangalore at 50 paisa to 70 paisa per liter. Now imagine they are able to source high quality water at 20 paisa per liter or 18 paisa per liter, then process it to DM with just 3 or 4 paisa. They say 50% of the cost of DM water if they are correctly procuring. So any industry. So currently our water selling is currently focused in Bangalore. There are too much complexities in terms of tanker handling, in terms of government regulations, all that. But if we are able to get right partners in different cities to close this loop, we'll be able to share the playbook, which is currently working in Bangalore, and they can explore areas in their city. Okay. How can we as an organization or as two individuals, because Gautam, we want to share our knowledge and in terms of what we can do for the city, right? For the industry, for the city, if we can add value, we are open to that discussion. So first, in terms of business, so we're doing this presentation to say what we're doing. So I'll start with business angle. We can supply low TDS water to any industry in the region of Outer Ring Road, Electronic City in the region. And if it is any other area where your industry needs high quality water, we will map your industry, tell us your problem, we'll try to make your industry water neutral. We'll identify an apartment and then supply water. We will plan and enable water, manage water supply for the industry. Say your industry says, I need 40,000 liters of water per day, and out of which rainwater I'm able to do on an average over the year 5,000 liters. So effectively the exploited water is 35,000 liters, out of which the borewell permitted extraction is say 10,000 liters per day. How do we supply the remaining water and make your industry water neutral? So we can help manage, plan, enable that. Enabling excess water management for apartments, all the apartments, 3,500 apartments in Bangalore are illegal in terms of disposing their excess STP treated water. So if this excess STP treated water is a problem, we can help apartments. We currently work with 250 unit and above apartments where it becomes viable for them to work with us and viable for us as well. Now, help in water circularity for the apartment and industry. Now, there is a new market which is emerging, which is for water credits, which is an enormous industry driver, which you see large entities, UN is working on it, large entities are working on water credit markets. Eventually, when this new norm, 2025 new norms come in terms of closing, in terms of certificate issuing, in terms of end user responsibility, in terms of wasting water, when that comes, water credit will play an important role. So we are sort of first movers in terms of displaying our water credits in one of these portals. We are in discussion with two large portals where we will put our water credits up on the open platform. And Aquarium, we are seriously looking at tying up with them. So we almost finalized. We'll display our water credits in the market and people can buy credits and sell credits. This will, there are good things and bad things to it, but what we see is initially, at least, there will be good things derived out of this water credit market. So basically, we are looking at enabling industries to become water sustainable and water neutral. This is what I believe, or we believe, is going to work for any city in India. So there are 12 cities which we have shortlisted, where the apartment segment is going to increase in terms of number of apartments being built. And the new norms will make STP anyway is mandatory, which will enforce STP becoming even more important in the cycle. And the excess water will be a big problem in any apartment because the psychological barrier of taking it for drinking is a long battle to fight. So it requires many scarcity for people to actually pursue it for drinking. But if we are able to just handle the industrial water demand, if you see Bangalore alone requires 330 MLD per day for industrial water demand, which is currently met either by fresh water or exploited borewell water. So if we are able to manage this excess via closed loop supply or circularity, we should be able to make cities sustainable in terms of water. This is the quality of water. This is the highest values which we have seen, 73 ppm of TDS, which we currently supply. All the water which we supply meets all the IS 10500 standards. We supply in 12 KL tankers. These are the kind of equipments which we put inside the apartment. We take 2.5 car park areas inside the apartment and put. Our systems are remotely managed. We have a team here who sits monitors all the apartments. We have our sensors which we have put in each of these places. We are able to collect data, display, monitor, do predictive analysis from remotely. And the right side slip is every tanker of ours goes with the water quality slip and time stamped, and it goes to the client wherever, from whichever apartment we are supplying, we'll find the client, and each client gets this slip for each batch of water. One case studies which we have is one apartment, they used to have, say, 50-60,000 liters of excess water every day. And when they drained that water to the drain, it used to go to the neighboring lake, and that lake was near Titan complex, and Titan was managing the lake. And every time there used to be problem in disposing this excess water to the drain. So we made that apartment 100% compliant. During the scarcity, they used our treated water to the swimming pool as well. And those people who are very conservative, they themselves sent this photo saying that our kids are swimming in your water. So this is, we consider it as a mindset change. But the most important thing, how are we closing the loop? This is the lake which you see, and that is the apartment. How are we closing the loop? So there is no drain from the apartment now, which is going to the lake. The drain has been closed by KSPCB. There is no drain going in. We are able to send this water to the nearby laundry unit, where they are using it for laundry washing. They are not exploiting borewell water. They're not buying tanker water. Laundry also, the apartment also benefited from basement flooding during the rain, because the lake level will be higher. If they send it to the lake, it flushes back to the basement. So there's significant number of problems. We are able to close the loop. So this is possible in other cities. Currently, apartments is a difficult segment. So we are focused in Bangalore region in terms of setting up these system in apartments and finding an industry. We have one more apartment where the treated water is getting sold to an industry nearby, and as on date, we are selling around 930,000 liters of water every day. It goes to large MNCs like Mercedes-Benz, it goes to all the brigade projects, it goes to SKF, Schneider, Laundry, all these units. So we have good support from a lot of media, good support from Rainmatter Foundation, Indian Angel Network. So we are trying to have this, which we have done as a model in Bangalore, to be replicated in other cities. We have our team currently in Pune. We have our first project happen in Coimbatore. We have our first project happening in Chennai. We're looking for partners in Hyderabad or Chennai or any other region where the intention is to drive this for the city. Investments, all that we could probably manage. But if we are able to drive this for any of the cities, and in terms of actual implementation, actual hard work on the ground, so we're looking to work with such kind of people who are not just driven by money, but also impact. Thank you for patiently listening. I'll dedicate next 15 minutes for question and answer session. Thank you very much. Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
so to begin with, I think it's a wonderful presentation you made. I do have some understanding about, but I thought about, listen to you, what exactly you are doing and all. So this is amazing thing, but as you said in the very beginning, it's a very your attempt is very minuscule compared to the problem that is bigger one. But at least you started. It's a big thing.
Thank you, sir.
That's my first comment you say, and I think I'm more interested to understand about the water that you already treat, and you also show me that some parameters. Uh, there are two aspects which I see. When you give this water to an apartment, suppose, and maybe laundry or any user or industry and all, with this thing. So with the water parameter, this thing. So I want to understand, you do the microbiology thing also along with this. Number one, sometimes microbiology things, once you there, this microbe grows so fast. What is that, the limit? Because this is the kind of treatment water which you are doing, and then the microbial growth. How this is you are controlling. You must be, but I would like to understand that one thing. And the second thing might be is that, which I'm very curious is, uh, the behavioral part, if I am staying in an apartment and if I come to know that this STP water has been taken away from my apartment by Boson, and they might be giving back to me or my laundry, which is close by, and those guys were washing with that water. So, what is this behavioral thing you might have observed, noticed, and that is, and maybe the third one which I'm going in my mind is that how we can, I'm thinking from my own background angle is that how we can do some kind of, I'm not using the word certification, but some kind of an evaluation independently, because 𝗖𝗵𝗶𝗶𝗲𝗳 as a global, which is on the plumbing and water treatment side, which will, again, it is not much on the monetary or the business side, but it is more on the see that how your efforts and everything can be recognized, widely, So that's the third thing in my mind. I thought of let's bring into it discussion.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Amazing, interesting question, because these three are the major problems which we trying to address as well. So, coming to the first question. So, we have the test kits at each of our sites, which is for total bacterial count, E. coli, and total coliform. So, we have test kits. This is the first. Each batch of water every day, there is a test kit which is used, and then we measure the growth if there is any growth. This is the first level of testing. It won't be as good as, I understand, giving it to laboratory. So we give also the sample to do all the microbiology test. Every month we give the water sample to an NABL certified laboratory and take the water report for microbiology as well as all the other parameters, because our clients ask. We share this with the apartment as well as with the industry. So now after 1 year, 8 months, that is when the apartment, because what they did was they independently got their tanker water tested outside, and every time they had E. coli, total coliforms, fecal coliforms as well. So after 1 year, 8 months, they decided to buy it for the swimming pool. So it takes that kind of efforts in terms of giving them documentation, real-time data, which is the real time. You're not able to measure E. coli, total coliforms. There are indirect way of measurement, but there is not direct way of measurement, which is commercially viable. So we give all these data, and over time, when their benchmark is tanker water versus our water, and when the benchmark is there, when people were able to take. So in terms of measurement, this is what we have done. We are open to discussion in terms of how we can do more to this in terms of bringing in certification, more validation. If there is 𝗖𝗵𝗶𝗶𝗲 which can be involved, we can definitely look at that option. Second, how are we able to change the psychological barrier? So we have met 374 apartments over the years, trying to convince that this water is better than their tanker water, which they're already buying. Right? We have not been successful in terms of making them drink. Right? But what has happened is there are few apartments who say, you don't put your system inside our apartment, you put it in our neighboring apartment. We buy this water via tankers because we are okay to buy this water via tankers, but we don't want to recycle our own water. So, and people are buying, they come, taste, test, all that, take reports, and they buy. There are consistent buyers from January. Every day there is an apartment, there are 2 apartments, so buying on a daily basis. And this is one of cases not many people buy. Now, the fear of what if the apartment themselves buy doesn't happen, because our water is very costly compared to the conventional tanker. Conventional tanker gets sold at 900 rupees, 1000 rupees. Our water gets sold at 2500. So apartments don't have that worry because no one can buy our water for the domestic consumption. But for the industry, they're able to buy because their unit cost gets reduced if they buy our water. Their RO reject reduces, and their laundry or cooling tower, their cost reduces. So they're able to afford our water and buy. So we don't have that problem in terms of what happens if they sell it to ourselves. So that problem is addressed. Long term, in terms of how are we trying to address this psychological barriers? In the next 3-4 years, when the industrial water is met, demand is met, we'll slowly look at closed loop cycle where our tanker involvement becomes down. They use a portion of water for non-drinking application, at least to start with bathing, if they have a separate line. we are in discussion with there is dual plumbing, right, already. So how do we make triple plumbing and things like that? There are discussions happening, but it is a long way. Till then, if we are able to cater to industrial water requirement, then we add value. So that is where we are currently. Thank you for the amazing questions. I hope I answered all the 3 questions.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Vikas.
So, any other questions?
Hi, Vikas.
Hi, Akshay.
Lovely presentation and love the work you guys are doing. I think it is very inspiring that you guys are closing the loop and saving the water. So I'm from the Guwahati from Northeast. We had spoken over the phone around 4 years back, if I'm not wrong.
Right. I understand.
Right.
Yes.
Right, Vikas. So today I was interested to know more about the water credits, what you're exploring, because this has been an area of interest for myself too. We do a lot of rainwater harvesting out here, but the whole act of putting the saved water and converting it to credits, like for me, I find it a very complicated science. Is it a complicated science, or you can be an agency who can help us to do so?
So Akshay, so we are in the starting stage. There are 1 or 2 exchanges in India which are working on it in terms of how to make it as a platform, how to utilize it. Because see, when you say water credit, everyone says I'm saving water, right? Every apartment will come and say I'm saving 50,000 liters water. And how do we monetize that credit? How do we make it as a site? So the discussion which is currently going in terms of credit is it is not based on the volume, it is based on the quality and actual utilization on the ground in terms of reuse of water. So if someone says I'm harvesting rainwater harvesting, the documentation angle comes from what is the roof area, what has been the rainfall over the years, what is the current year rainfall, what is actually harvested, and what is the quality of water harvested based on the volume. And on that day, is there a circularity which can be proved that that water is reused? So the credits are generally looked at that way currently. That is the angle it is currently going. Because otherwise, water credit becomes like so some large guy CSR money they put say 15 crores into water credits, and some large government STPs who's already saving in 5 millions of liters they take all the credits, right? So it becomes like a non-starter for areas if we see that angle. So that is the angle which is currently going. What we are trying to bring into water credit angle is if it has to be measured and monetized by industry, it has to be industries who are actually proving the circularity on the ground. So that is the angle which we are trying to bring in. So aquarium has done enough research, so they are trying still on the larger volume in terms of water which can be sold direct STP water. If someone is selling, what is the value? Can we allocate 1 paisa per liter? Can we allocate 0.1 paisa per liter? So this price discovery is happening for the direct recovered water and rainwater. Price discovery for us, we are doing in the market based on what is the volume of water which is getting sold and actually utilized. Can that be 50% of the current price they pay? There is a price discovery which is happening. So it is still not clear. We are in the process of designing, giving values. Bosch is designing a platform for this. Accenture is making an attempt in designing a platform for this. There are large companies, organization in the US which is trying to design a platform for this, because this is a large money which people think will be, because commodities when it started in 1991 or 1907 when it started, only few were able to actually capitalize in terms of commercial, actually measure the actual impact on the ground. And there is also discussion on who's going to validate this. It's going to cost money in terms of validating whatever people say. So it is in a starting stage, Akshay. So I don't mind sharing any progress which we do on that, Akshay. So I will keep you on loop. I have your number from last time I just searched. I think I have your number. I'll drop in a message. If we progress anything positive on this, we'll keep you updated on that.
That'll be great, Vikas. Thank you so much.
Sure, Akshay. Pleasure seeing you as well. Any other question? Wonderful.
If people don't have any questions, we can wind up here.
Yeah, wonderful. So all of you, we have your details in the email. So if you need any of this information, we are happy to share where we can get on a call. Akshay, Guwahati region, if we want to look to move forward, we'll connect with you. So we'll connect with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
Vikas, are you attending to the IFAT in Mumbai, which is happening? Are you coming for that?
IFAT, no. Since we are not into any product sale,
Okay.
might not add. So we know all of them, meaning at least 50% of the people who participate in that, we know them, they are friends, we are buying materials from them, giving materials to them and things like that. So might not directly add value. So very much localized. So
Sure. So we'll definitely connect on the call. I think 𝗚𝗏𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗧.
sure, actually, sure. All the best.
Okay. Sure. I think we will share the presentation over your email, which you shared with us. Maybe you can take a look at it and reach back to us anytime.
Great. Wonderful. So thank you, all of you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for your time. We'll keep doing such session maybe monthly once, or we'll keep inviting you if you have time. Please join. Yeah.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Vikas. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Shri.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mohammed. Thank you, Vasant. Thank you, Venkatesh. Thank you, Madhusudan. Thank you, Ramya, for joining.